Time now for our ETF report brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Joining me for that is Tom Lydon, CEO of ETF Trends. Tom, good to see you as always. So 2020, we know, we talked about it ad nauseum, was a record year for ETFs. And already, we're about 6 weeks in. It looks like appetite for these things not subsiding. What are the latest numbers?
No, it's true. It hasn't slowed down, Alexis. Like you said, 6 weeks in, we're touching almost $90 billion already. We had a record year last year, as you said, over $500 billion. So more money flowing into areas like themes, technology, EV, cybersecurity. So we're moving away from traditional indexing for sure. Also, we're seeing some appetite overseas as the dollar continues to not look as strong. So that means local currencies are actually helping give areas in developed nations a boost, and especially in emerging markets.
So I know you always bring your picks along with you, which I just love. I love when we can get specific whenever possible. So in the emerging market space, what do you like right now?
Well, if you look at China, and there's a lot of discussion about China right now, and if you look at MCHI, which was the iShares MSCI China fund, up 17% so far year to date. Again, it's more this emerging market boom. And then when you look to financial technology, we've talked a lot about Cathie Wood and the folks over at ARK Invest. There's the ARK Financial Innovation ETF. That's up over 21% year to date. When you think about online buying, mobile banking, there's a lot of high-tech companies that are in there. Tencent, Zillow, people are buying more homes. ICE, the New York Stock Exchange. There's a lot of trading that's going on, so that's really doing well. If you want to stick in emerging markets and specific online buying that's focused in China, there's the Emerging Market Internet and E-commerce ETF, EMQQ, Tencent, Alibaba. There's also Pinduoduo, which is another company that we don't hear much about, but it's the third largest online buying company in China. And then finally, bringing in our friend Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He's done a great job with a fund called OGIG, OGIG, which is a global internet giants ETF stocked with FANG companies. And also you've got Microsoft in there. You've got Shopify. Think about all those companies that have helped the average small business redirect their businesses online this year during this COVID environment, where they've been able to thrive by embracing technology.
Yeah, you mentioned Kevin O'Leary. We had him on the show just a few days ago, and also Cathie Wood, our own Jen Rogers, did a great sit-down interview with her, and folks could check it out on the website. Before we let you go, we were talking to Michael Saylor earlier, a big advocate of Bitcoin with his company MicroStrategy. Do you think we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF?
I do. So Matt Hogan, who is one of my best friends in the ETF space, who's over at Bitwise, he spends a lot of time going back and forth to Washington, meeting with the SEC, talking about the prospects. Without no inside scoop here for sure, but the SEC is getting more comfortable as there's greater adoption of people buying Bitcoin. The big thing for you and I would be, rather than having to buy on a Coinbase account or buy a fund that actually owns Bitcoin but doesn't trade to the actual price of Bitcoin, it would be wonderful if one point in time there was a Bitcoin ETF which actually reflected the current price of Bitcoin and didn't gouge you from a pricing standpoint. I think it's coming, and the demand for Bitcoin, as you just talked about, isn't slowing down.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Tom Lydon of ETF Trends, thank you.